Curriculum in Conversation is more than dialogue. It's where community meets purpose. This month, we're calling in the Village. We sat down with the African American Parent Council of Pasadena Unified, a parent led, forced reshaping what educational equity looks like in real time. From rewriting discipline policies to uplifting Black excellence through math, history, and storytelling. AAPC isn't waiting for change, they're building it. This is what happens when parents lead, students rise, and systems move. This is the Village at work. This is Curriculum in Conversation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Curriculum in Conversation. Y'all make some noise in the building. Come on. Yeah! Listen. As always, Equation to Success School Turf is always just coming to you with some real, relevant, informative information about education, really changing education, right? Revolutionizing it. As we all know, education is stale. It need a battery pack in it, so that's what we're here to do. So welcome to you all in IG land. Welcome tonight. It's so great to have you here. I'm excited about tonight. Y'all see these three beautiful, Black, amazing folks smiling at me. I can't think of a better way to close out our academic year with these three amazing folks. And I'm going to introduce them in just 1 second. But I did want to remind you all, please, when you get an opportunity, check out our website, equationtosuccess.com. We've got some amazing things happening. Like I said, we've already shot so many episodes of our podcast. We are ready. It's exciting. Listen, I think Vernita and I shocked ourselves. We're talking about some educational issues, but we're also blending that with culture. You get to learn so much about us. It's just a good ride, so I can't wait. That's coming soon. Make sure you check your email inboxes. It's going to be happening. Also, we're going to be releasing our School Turf online course, where it's really giving pedagogical practices to be an effective math teacher. Myself and Vernita are walking you through the steps to become an amazing educator. And by the end of it, you'll be certified as a school turf educator, math educator. And so we're going to launch that out to individual teachers, school districts, so we're super excited about that. And also, we're running so many summer programs. I know we got interviews coming up next week to just continue to add to the team. So keep it locked to the website. You never know what you'll see when you get there. Now, tonight, I'm super excited to have representatives from the African American Parent Council. I've got my brother, Dr. Toutule, and I got Natasha in the building from the African American Parent Council. Listen, that's their title, but these two are my family. I've known them, got to know them over about a 2-year process, and I've loved every minute working with them. They've inspired me so much that they don't even know it, but I'll probably get into a little bit of that tonight, right? And then at the far end, we got none other. Look, y'all see her face. She probably doesn't need any introduction. But that's Patrice Marshall McKenzie. I'll get into who she is a little later. Just all things school board member, PUSD, chief of staff for the LAUSD school board member. Just, oh my God, like so many things. I could talk about Patrice's resume as long. So we'll get into that. So I'm just, y'all in the building, make some noise for my folks in the building. So I do want to start and just give you some background information about the African American Parent Council. The African American Parent Council is a district recognized from the Pasadena Unified School District, parent-led organization. These are some parents that are serious about Black children and education. Their mission is to honor and embrace the identity and experiences of Pasadena Unified School District's African American families, advocate for the cultural acceptance of all, and mobilize and engage all stakeholders to transform the system to ensure a high quality education for every student. AAPC has led several notable initiatives, including leading the suspension policy reform, where they put together a Black student success task force that reformed school discipline by introducing restorative practices, reducing Black student suspensions by 60% in 1 year. We gotta clap that up, y'all. Listen. They also partnered with us, Equation to Success, right, and PUSD for a year-long Black student and family task force to address educational disparities for African American children. That led to the development, which we are so proud of the Immersive Storytelling Academy with a Pan-African focus, launching this school year. We're running the summer bridge this summer, launching in the fall with their first 6th grade cohort of students. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that this evening. Also, I'm not done yet. They do parent power building. They have monthly meetings featuring critical discussions and renowned speakers. They got dope speakers that came through. They had me come through. I don't know why, because the people they had like just was top tier. AAPC empowers parents and communities to drive educational equity and racial justice. Math Power Hour, in-school program that strengthens early math skills and confidence in Black first and second graders, expanding to serve 100 more students in the near future. They also have the Black History Living Museum. I got to see that the other day. I was blown away. A program which allows students to bring Black history to life through engaging exhibits and presentations, fostering pride and cultural knowledge. I got to see some of everybody at the Black History Living Museum. Venus and Serena, Nat Turner, Malcolm X, just some brilliant kids were doing their thing. Also, the Black College Expo, in partnership with Black Student Unions, AAPC provides 200 Black high school students with access to the Black College Expo, paving the way to higher education. Joining us from the AAPC leadership team is Dr. Toutule and Natasha, who serve as the secretary. Natasha, what's your title in the organization?
Miss Everything.
Everything,
Everything.
Treasurer.
Y'all give it up for my AAPC family. Yeah. Patrice's journey begins in Pasadena, where she has planted deep roots and continues to shape her community, inspired by a city that taught her to dream without limits. She is a passionate educator and advocate for equity, justice, and empowerment. With a strong belief in the transformative power of education, Patrice works to close opportunity gaps and elevate civic engagement. And I just gotta say this, because she probably ain't gonna say it, but Patrice is super duper instrumental in the African American, say LAWPI, give me the acronym for LAWPI.
The Los Angeles African American Women's Public Policy Institute.
That does some amazing things. Let me tell you something. I just saw Patrice's face on a flyer that I'm going to, an event that I'm going to. She with the big top dogs, right? She is amazing. Civic engagement for real. She empowers everyday people to become agents of change through advocacy and participatory democracy. A seasoned professional in the legislative process, public affairs, and media relations, Patrice is a respected voice in California's public policy landscape with more than 15 years of experience. She is a skilled facilitator, thought leader, and visionary, committed to building stronger, more informed communities. That is my friend, my family, Patrice Marshall McKenzie. UC Berkeley grad, it didn't say it, but I'm gonna tell you, UC Berkeley grad, like just killing the game. Studied African American studies too. Brilliant mind, and has a heart for our people, and a heart for our community, and a heart for work, and a heart for education. I have to just start by saying this. I've never seen a cadre of Black parents move and fight for Black children the way you all do. You sacrifice your time. I've seen you put off stuff for your own families in the sake of caring about Black kids in that district. And so I don't care if anybody else gives you all flowers. I'm personally going to give you guys flowers today because you all rock. I tell you guys all the time, you guys are a model that should be seen across this country. And so I'm excited to know you. I'm excited to meet you. And I'm just excited to be in you all's lives, and I'm glad that we are now family. So with that being said, I just want to ask this first question. How did AAPC get started? And really talk to me about what inspired its formation.
I'm like Natasha.
Really?
Yeah, because you're the OG. I came. Natasha brought me in. The way I came in AAPC, I was a parent, and I was trying to find a good school for my kids. And Pasadena didn't have in the community the best reputation. I'm not a Pasadena resident, but I've heard a lot of just mixed reviews about Pasadena. And I didn't know, so I went to my board member and I talked to board member Bailey, and she said, "Oh no, we've got great schools here. Go talk to this person." So I started making the rounds, and I don't even know where. I think I went to a meeting and I met Natasha. She was like, "Oh, you're a parent? Oh,
That's
come
Natasha.
to a meeting.
That's Natasha.
Here's what you're gonna do."
boss. She
Blah
gonna
blah blah
boss you,
blah blah.
right?
And then here I am. So I'm gonna let Natasha.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the African American Parent Council started in 2010 with a group of parents at Altadena Elementary School with one of our leaders, Dr. Rima, at that time, and Felita Keeling, and many parents, as well as Principal White. And they galvanized and they realized that they needed to begin to start doing something for Black students and families in Pasadena. We noticed that there was an over-representation of students being put into special ed classes, over disciplinary actions. We really didn't see our students in GATE and or in AP type classes. And so they just began to start meeting and putting together a mission and a vision to try to figure out what they could do as parents and as leaders in the community to support our Black students and families. And from there, we chartered in June of 2010. We chartered at a district level, but what we said was we wanted every single school that had at least 8 to 10% of African American parent population or student population to be able to have a site level AAPC. So I was at the site level AAPC Willard International Baccalaureate, and I represented them there. From there, we took it to the school board, and we were actually adopted as an official parent group in PUSD in 2011. That's how we started.
I love it. I love it. And y'all know I'm gonna just get into it and get real deep here because these are some of the conversations that I know we have privately, but I think people need to hear this publicly in light of everything that's happening across our nation and our world with the attacks on equity, inclusion, diversity, all of those things. Why is the African American Parent Council so important? And have you guys received any pushback from the work that you all do?
Well, before I answer that question, I just want to say that we did some research when we were getting the task force underway, and we looked at other districts that had any kind of African American student centered space or anything, and a lot of what we saw was like district level. Some districts did it because there was a lawsuit, so it was like almost top down. We didn't find very many that were like us, that were grassroots, that were bottom up. And I think that's what makes us so essential. And we're able to push back with the district because we are about our students, we're about parents, we're about family, we're about community. And that's what leads us. So it's not, someone who's sitting up at a district office someplace, which no shade to anyone who's in that position. But I think it gives us a unique perspective in what's needed on the ground. And we always say this: we don't want to be like the voice of the people. We want to empower the people to speak up and be there for our Black kids. And when you guys came along and decided to do this task force, that's exactly what we wanted. We didn't want it to be our siloed voices leading the way in what was supposed to happen. We wanted this to be a grassroots community. And we all have difference of opinions, but to be able to bring that together and have the voice of the people push the initiatives forward. And one of the things that came out of it was this academy. So big shout out to you for coming in and leading that work, and Patrice for also helping us kind of navigate that space. But why this is needed now? There's a lot going on in the education space, and I don't know, Natasha, how you feel about this, but I feel like we're a little bit insulated from that, and we don't get the brunt of it. And I don't know if it's the district or whatever the case may be, but I haven't seen any pushback on a large scale from the district that we've seen. Like, my friends are telling me in Texas, in Indiana, and these other states, Louisiana, that there's a lot of things that are going down that we're not quite seeing in our
stole
space.
my word.
Oh.
I sure was going to say that.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but I agree with you. I do believe that we have been insulated, and I would like to say I think that is because of the work that we've done in our community, but also because of our district leaders. I think that we have folks on our school board, Patrice McKenzie Scott, Ms. Michelle Bailey, our superintendent, Dr. Elizabeth Blanco, Yarma, like all of our school board members, they're very, very supportive with the work that we do. And I think that we've been able to come alongside with our district versus working outside. How can we stay at the table and work together? And I think because of that, it's allowed us to continue to have a voice, as well as district leaders. Many of our executive team on our district level, as well as our principals, how can we work together? How can we figure this out? Because I think they've seen that it's not necessarily, blackness this and blackness that, but our students are suffering. Our students do have the lowest test scores. Our students are over-suspended. So we're not asking for any, quote, special treatment. We're asking for equal treatment. We're asking for them to notice the fact that these things are needed. So I think they see the need, and that's why I don't think necessarily we've gotten pushback based upon what it looks like in our administration right now.
Yeah, and I pass it to
Yes.
Patrice because I want to get Patrice into this conversation as well. And what has been your view as a school board member? And before you became a school board member, I know you were very active and associated with the African American Parent Council. So talk to me about your experience with AAPC, Patrice, and the value that it provides.
Well, I think my experience with AAPC starts with my own family. I'm a third-generation person from Pasadena. My grandfather went to Pasadena High Schools. He graduated from Pasadena High School. My parents went to Pasadena Unified Schools. I'm a K-12 Pasadena Unified product, so I know what it's like to be a student in the district. I know what my parents endured and what my grandparents endured to get them educated. It hasn't always been easy, but there have been a lot of rewards. I can speak to my own mother wanting me tested for GATE and the sort of, at the time, gatekeeping that says, oh, well, they only test at this certain school site, which my mom says, that's perfect, she goes to that school.
Come on, Mom. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we'll have her tested next week. So there's always been a little bit of resistance of sorts sometimes. And I think it comes from, an unconscious or conscious bias that sometimes that there's a different expectation, a different standard, a different belief about the abilities of Black children. I will say, and I often say, that a student's cognitive ability is not determined by their skin color, isn't determined by their zip code, isn't determined by their parents' income. What we need in front of our children, every one of our children, especially Black children, is people who believe in our kids,
Yes.
people who love our kids,
Absolutely.
and people who have confidence in their ability to learn. That makes the difference. But for my AAPC family, you all are warriors for children. You all are
Yeah.
warriors for Black children.
Yeah.
And we know that what supports Black children supports every child. So I thank them for their advocacy, for their courage, for their voice, and for their collaboration. I'm also grateful for the fact that our district has leadership who is bold and confident and courageous in their willingness to stand up for equity. We are unmoved by our commitment to serving our students, unmoved by our investment in serving our students, and we'll continue to do that for every single child in Pasadena Unified.
I know. Yeah, I hear some snaps in the building. Yeah, y'all good. Anytime I talk to you about you all to anyone else, and they're Black parents, they say, how do we start something like this in our community to help our kids? What advice would you give to Black parents? Because you guys have really created, not just an organization, you've created family. I've watched you all interact. You all interact with each other outside of doing school business. You guys, when Toutule's not there, Natasha's like, oh, I know exactly where Toutule is. Toutule is, or Mia not there, or John is not there. Talk to me about someone that's watching out there, and they want to build something like you all have built to successfully get kids through, Black kids get through. What would be your advice to them?
I think the first thing I would say, I was listening to a radio show, and they were talking about the civil rights movement and how unpopular it was. And when we look at it now, we think it was a critical mass of people who was, marching the streets. And they said, no, Black folks didn't even want to go to any of the marches. And he said it was a small group of people who came together and they did the work and they brought people along with them. So I think a lot of times we think it takes a lot of people. Like we have 7 people on the board and we come together, we have a group chat and we do things. But it's not like there's 50 or 60 of us who are coming together and you've seen the group. So I think we oftentimes think there's going to be someone else who should do it. There's a big group of people. There's a Martin Luther King who's coming through those doors, or Malcolm, or whoever. But it's you. Like you're the one. Yeah. And if you can get a couple of voices together in a room and you decide this is what you want to do, those voices are what's going to push it forward. Like the AAPC didn't start with a large group of folks. So I think that's the first thing, knowing that you want to step forward and make a change, and then getting folks to galvanize, get a small group of people, and then push forward and figure out what's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree.
And I think it's sustainable because something that's even notable about you all, some of y'all have kids that have graduated out, that are done. And
They're all our kids.
And you're still
They're
fighting.
all our kids.
And you're still fighting, but someone would say,
they're all our kids.
oh, they would think leadership, once my kid is done, I'm only in this to care about my kid, to see my kid through.
Yeah, it's something I think that we've adopted just as a culture, but it is the village. Yeah. They are all our kids. And so one of the things when I first started, over 18 years ago, at the elementary school, and parents would say, hey, Natasha, like, I can't make it, not a problem. I'll be there for you then. You can't make it to the teacher conference, not a problem. My son's in that class, I'll be there. I'll let you know what the teacher said, right? Like, so we understand we're working, we're busy, we're multitasking, we're trying to do all kinds of things. Our students are in a number of activities, whatever it may be, extracurricular, right? We have church commitments and work commitments and this commitment, that commitment. But if I'm gonna be there, I can represent. If you're gonna be there, you can represent. And so we realize that it is the village. It is the, hey, I can't make it there. Can you take her? Sure, not a problem, I'm going to that. No different than picking up the phone to say, can you pick him up for Pop Warner? Can you pick him up to take him to tutoring? Sure. Can you pick him up to take him back to the school for whatever? Absolutely. And I think that, back to what Toutule was saying, it just takes the one or two having something in common, right? Something in common where you're showing up and it's like, hey, it's 2 of us. Now it's 3 of us. Now 3, there's 6 of us. Okay, great. And we are going to do what we can. Do what you can. That's what matters. They talk about engagement and involvement. They're 2 different things. It doesn't mean that I'm not engaged just because I don't show up. I did homework,
Come on.
right?
Yeah, talk about it.
Right? So thank you for putting the packets together, room mom or whatever, so now I can do homework, or whatever the case may be, with these students. And so I just think we try, as long as you can figure out where you can show up. Some of our parents, they just like, I'll send emails. That's all I can do. I will do packets. I can only show up once a year for this event. Great, we'll take it,
Yeah.
you know?
No,
Yeah.
I love that. And that's that collective spirit. which,
Yes.
You know, we're gonna talk about the Immersive Academy, but that's a Pan-African concept.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
That's how Black people move.
Hello.
It's a village, it's a collective mindset. And so, Patrice, did you want to add something?
I was going to add to that, it's about relationships.
Yeah,
And
come on.
what moves community and what moves Black community is relationships.
Yes, absolutely.
If there is a sense of trust, of value, and support, you can have whatever you want. And because I know that Natasha will show up for not only her own children, but someone else's children, because it's about a child that needs help. Toutule the same way. All of my AAPC parents will show up. I don't have biological children, but I will show up for the 14,000 students in Pasadena Unified School District. Because the quality of education that our students are receiving is what's going to define our future. They're going to be our leaders. They're going to be our physicians, our attorneys, our engineers, our business owners, our accountants. So they're going to be the people that are going to be providing services to us in a myriad of ways in our communities. So if we are invested in building strong communities, we need to be invested in our children right now.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. That's a word right there. They just all broke it down, and that's why I fight so hard about in education, because I know our future greatly depends on it. Now, I'm gonna ask you all three. What would you say is the proudest moment that you had in AAPC fighting for our children? It's the proudest moment you've had thus far.
We just won?
You can give me more than one if you got more than one.
I got one. I got one.
Okay, go for it.
So I remember when I first got in, Natasha was really big on the LCAP. Like
Tell them what the LCAP is.
what is the LCAP?
The
Local
Local
Control
Control
Accountability Plan.
Yep.
And that's the plan that the districts are bound to. It brings money and all this stuff. And so I just remember vividly, Natasha was talking about how we're not a part of the LCAP. Why are we at the table? I can't believe. So we're, and all of us.
Let me tell you something too. Natasha be in on
She's
the
in.
LCAP. That's the
She's
first
in.
one. I'm better. She said, "Kimai LCAP." I was like, "No, I got you."
So-
it's super important.
So stuff was happening with the LCAP, and we weren't known as anything. AAPC, no, we got it. We were not anywhere in the LCAP. So we strategically said we want to be a part of the conversation. So it was like a seed that was planted, and little by little, the seed kept growing. And was it last year? Mm-hmm. Last year, they asked us to come into a meeting and give them guidance on what should be included in the LCAP. I was like,
Now,
wow.
Tell everybody, let the audience, for those that don't know, why is it so important for Black children to be represented in the LCAP?
Because it directs the dollars.
That's where the dollars go. So if there are no goals for Black students, then the district can't put any money towards any kind of programming or anything for our Black students. So we not only did we get a seat at the table, when they were finalizing, they called us in too and said, make sure this looks good. We want to make sure we're not leaving anything out. And we sat, and I was just like, wow, this was such, and it just, to me, it was just a validation, just little steps here, planting a seed there, meeting with this people, meeting with that person, meeting with the superintendent, meeting with Helen, meeting with that person, and eventually it happens, and now we're part of the LCAP. I think we have 3 goals, right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
She has 4 goals. She has 4 goals. Okay. More goals. More goals. Oh.
more goals.
More goals.
So that was my proudest moment.
think
One
I-
of them.
Nice.
I think I have 2.
Okay.
One was when the district adopted the Math Power Hour.
Yeah.
And it is
Tell
a,
us, give a little back. I
Okay.
told him about it, but
Okay.
I want you to go more granular about why the importance.
yeah. So, we were trying to figure out what we can do around an academic goal that we can move the needle. And after doing some surveys and some research and talking to staff, teachers in PUSD, parents in PUSD, we were basically instructed and told that we need to start with the younger grades, first and second grade. And so Math Power Hour is a volunteer program where we put volunteers in first and second grade to work with our students to change their attitude and aptitude around math. And we have seen a difference in how students engage with math. It's interesting because when we first started over 6 years ago, our high school students would say, "Oh, I'm not good at math. Oh, I don't like math." I think I was an adult that said, I'm cool on math, right? But now, we have over 60 volunteers that show up in our classrooms at 8 elementary schools, working with our Black students and brown students to make sure that they like math. They play math games. They let them know they can do it. They encourage them. And so by the time they get to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, it's like, oh, I got this, because they've been nurtured
Yeah.
at the younger grades, right? So I think that's probably one of my most proudest. And then the other thing I think would be just that when there was a period of time in PUSD that it was like, no, we can't really say the word Black within documents and say that we're going to put money towards Black students and things like that. And we got to win. We had some board members that continued to advocate. We had a superintendent that was open to it. And so I appreciate and I feel like it's a win that we are not afraid in our community with our staff, with our school board, with our teachers, to say, Black students need this, or we are doing this for Black students. And I'm proud of that because for many years, we skirted around it. We wanted to use the appropriate words like socioeconomically disadvantaged, or those that are a part of, whatever, SPED or foster youth, and so we just fall in those. No, we're trying to break the cycle of that. So if you constantly look at us in those spheres, then it's unfair. We are Black students. We're able to achieve outside of any, quote, category to put us in. And so I appreciate the fact that our district is now open to, our Black students need this, our Black teachers need this, our Black parents need this. How about that?
Yeah,
I love that.
I love it.
I will say that my proudest AAPC win is the Immersive Storytelling Academy. And I am especially proud because I'm gonna just pop my own collar for a second
Come on, Father.
and say that I secured the funding
Yes.
for the program to be able to live and to thrive. And I am looking for continued funding and additional sources of dollars so that we can continue to be robust in our community engagement, in our parent engagement, in our family engagement, in our just growth about educating folks about what our children need, how community can support our kids, and how do we make sure that this program continues to thrive. It will continue to grow because we will make sure we continue to invest in it. So I will always fight for dollars. I will always fight for our students, and always make sure that the things that are important to us, we're going to fund and we're going to invest in them. Because if your budget doesn't reflect your values, then you're not putting your money in the right places.
I love that. Oh, that's
Man,
There it is.
I love it. A question that I want to ask you about, and I'm gonna just, Patrice started it, so I'm gonna step right in it. So the Immersive Storytelling Academy, why is it necessary? Right, we're building a middle school 6 through 8 with the Pan-African focus, lens. We just are really changing the game in education. But I have to ask you all, why? Why?
Our children, you started this earlier, Dr. Wilson, when you said that education needs a battery jolt in terms of changing the paradigm, changing what our students are learning, how they're learning, and how they're engaging with material. This academy does just that. It is teaching core subject matter, but it's also doing so in a way that is not traditional, sort of English, math, social science, you know. It's including all of those subject matters, but also including the Pan-African framework, which affirms our students, affirms their history, their culture, their value, and our history that is long and has many contributions in every field of human endeavor. It also integrates technology into the learning day and into the curriculum in a way that will prepare them to not only engage in the jobs that will come in the future, but to be able to design and create jobs that we can't even see yet today.
Absolutely.
So being able to provide a broad range of interdisciplinary, cross-functional learning will allow our students to be bold, creative leaders that will be the ones that are shaping our future in a way that we don't even yet have words for, can't even get articulated, and can't even define, but they will be able to do that.
And those of you out there that are watching, if you are interested in having your kid be a part of this amazing learning experience, I don't want to give it away right now because we got a parent orientation happening on June 3rd. But I'm going to lay out the whole year in our amazing summer bridge program that we've designed. But if you're interested, Hasmeen, is the information on our website? You can go to PUSD, the Immersive Storytelling Academy, Pasadena Unified School District. Go to their website, it's there. Come to E2S, equationstosuccess.com, the information is there. Enroll your children, because I'm telling you now, people are going to fight to get their kids into this space. We are building something incredible that has not been done, because we ran a Black Student and Family Task Force for a year, and we heard what the community needed. We heard what Black parents wanted for the Black community, businesses, educators, parents, nonprofits, faith-based community. We included everyone in this process. Students. We wanted to hear from everyone. And so this academy is built on the framework of all of their amazing contributions and ideas. So I'm super excited about this work to really change the game. So I wanted to ask you all another question about AAPC. I know you all talked about being in leadership, and you guys are pretty much on the front lines. How do you all allow for parents who are not on the front lines like you, not in leadership, don't have time? How do you, as an organization, still allow for their voices to be heard?
Yeah, before I answer that, I wanted to go back to your previous question about why this is needed, why this academy is needed. And I just know, I'm a product of LA Unified School District. And I went my entire K through 12 experience never learning a Pan-African centric anything. And I remember and I went to a magnet school that's highly renowned. Everybody, if you're in LA Unified, this magnet program, and I was bused, all of that good stuff. And I remember my 12th grade teacher, good old Mr. Lynn, I'm calling you out. He taught us that one of the reasons why European countries were able to get ahead was because they had a written language. He told us that. I remember that. And I was like, what does that mean? He goes, yeah, a lot of African languages are oral, and, they didn't really go into any kind of written and didn't write down their history, whatever. All of us, in 12th grade. So he's the authority in the classroom. So I don't have the language to push back against that. So you just kind of take it. But I knew something was inherently wrong about it. And I hear so many people say the first time I learned about any kind of African-centric anything was in college. My African-American history class, my African-American sociology class, big shout out to Dr. Price at PCC. He had an amazing African-American sociology class, and we learned about all these different things. But I was in college. And thinking about a sixth grader, seventh grader, eighth grader who's going to learn this African-centric content and be able to use technology as a vehicle to just immerse themselves in what that means, what that's going to do for their self-confidence, that you don't have to learn that, oh, black folks started with slavery, right? Like that's all what we learned, but when you can learn where all of this greatness comes from, it didn't start as slavery, it started way back in, even before the Europeans, started way before, right? So that's really, really important. So I just want to uplift that. So to answer the second question, in terms of parents and access, and I think because we're a parent organization, we kind of lead with that. What's the access point look like? And we had our meetings when I first went to AAPC. We had our meetings virtually, which we would get. We'd have, depending on the topic, a lot of folks would show up.
Y'all have
Other
a lot of people
topics.
in the building. Y'all
A lot
have
of
them Zooms. Y'all had me speak, and I was hitting the pages.
Before the Zooms, and even me, I didn't have my kid was small back then, so I wasn't as impacted. But when COVID came, we decided to go online.
Yeah.
And that, to me, it shifted the entire thing. We had access to different types of speakers who can come in and speak to us, different topics. Like our topics can be totally very nuanced. And we had access, like Dr. Noguera came and talked to us. You came to talk to us, right? We had all these amazing speakers. And that time, like my wife would come home and she's cooking and listening to AAPC meetings. We have parents who are, Dr. Gray, he's at a game and he's got AAPC on his phone.
What's up, Dr. Gray?
And
You're
he's-
hot. You're hot.
So I think that allows us access point and to have those regular meetings where parents can come in and hear what's happening in the district, hear what's going on in the education space, be able to contribute. Like you said, hey, I can only go to the meetings. That's all I got. Great, come through. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to worry about your kids because you have help, home child care at the house. Just log into your Zoom and we're there. So that's really helped us with just the meetings. Now, consistently, our meetings, we have probably the largest groups in the district.
As a parent group, I think.
As a parent group, I think we're consistently.
Listen, they meetings are lit.
Fun, people that get excited to come.
They have raffles, and I'll be trying to win stuff, but they never call my name. But it's just
already have all the
Come on, bro.
it's great time. Anytime they ask me to speak, like I'm excited because you just get to be around good people who want to be amazing advocates for their kids. And you could see different people. Some are driving and they're listening. You could tell some, like you said, I've seen some in the kitchen. Some got their babies and they're picking them up, but they're all there because they love the information that you all want to give. How about you, Natasha? Anything that just stands out?
For access?
Yeah, for access. For parents that are not leadership.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure we'll have some parents watching. They want to, after seeing this, I know they're going to start their thing. And so how do they make it accessible to all parents? All. Because as I know, parental involvement, although we don't talk enough about this, social class has a lot to do with
Oh,
it.
yes.
For sure.
And we don't have the real conversations about it. I know there were certain schools that I worked at, and principals wanted parents to come in. Parents got to work. Some work 2 or 3 jobs. And their parental involvement is putting food on the table for their children.
Absolutely.
And so how do you guys make sure that you wrap your arms around even parents that just have so many other responsibilities?
Yeah, I would say our meetings definitely is a point of entry where they can log in on the first Tuesday of the month, typically October through March. I would say any parent meeting that you can attend, it doesn't have to be an AAPC. It could be PTA. It could be ELAC. It could be school site council. It could be a Pop Warner parent meeting. Wherever I feel like you're able to show up. It could be parent-teacher conference. It could be an email to your teacher asking about your child's homework. I mean, at the access, I think one thing that I wish I had known early on was I had permission to be there.
Oh, yeah.
You have permission to be there.
Yeah.
You don't need to ask for access. You have permission to be there. And if you don't feel comfortable, you have a parent or a friend in the classroom that you can join in with and say, there's been times Toutule's been like, Natasha, you know this parent or this teacher or this principal at this school? Absolutely, we have a network, let's go. Give me my phone, hold on, wait a minute, right?
Tasha knows everybody. You know, when I say everybody.
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 So I would just say that come to a meeting, stop a friend, ask a teacher. Parent involvement and parent engagement is really, it's like your own race. You're your own trailblazer on your own race, like no one else. I'm not the leader, he's not the leader, right? I think that we all show up uniquely at the table, and I think that's what's important. So maybe it's just showing up and getting the information. That's it. And you implement it. There have been workshops we've shown about how to do homework at school, at home with your student, right? That's access, that's engagement. So yeah.
You all are the.
I was?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Come on, Patrice, what you got? What you got?
You were absolutely in my head. I was thinking that every parent is a leader.
Yes.
And that leadership looks different for everybody based on what their capacity is. But everyone's contribution is valuable. So I see the AAPC at the district level as sort of like the hub, but at every single school site where we have Black children, we need AAPC chapters.
Absolutely.
So we need to have that localized impact. So you may be involved with your child at the school site level, but not the district level, but you're still involved. And what do we do as Black people? If I know something good, I'm gonna call Natasha, hey girl,
Have you had this?
I
vegan
found out about
restaurant?
X, Y, and Z.
That's right.
So you call your friends and you invite your friends to be involved. You invite your friends to engage with their child's school, with their child's teacher, and it spreads. And it might be that you do small things, and all those small things have ripple effect, and they all add up, and they're all valuable. So we want Black families to engage and to support their child and to show up however they can. It's everywhere, and it's in everything. So you may not be able to come to all the things, whatever you can come to, or whatever you can do, we know that you are part of our leadership village, and that we support you and we stand with you.
Yes, absolutely.
You all do some incredible work, and so I do want to ask this important question. What support does AAPC need? We got so many people watching. You know, you all are in the trenches fighting for our children every day. What kind of support do you all need? Is there any collaboration organizations can have with you all? Can people get involved with you? Talk to me a little bit about those things. And don't be shy. Here's your chance. You got the.
Oh, I'm not.
We got the whole row. I told you.
Okay, so
Come on, Patrice.
I'll tell you what I need for my APC to continue to grow and thrive. I need funding.
Come on.
These parents are giving their time. They do immense research. They are investing in events. They are doing strategic planning. They're doing all these things in addition to their paid job, raising their families, supporting their churches, supporting other community organizations, doing other volunteer work. But they are standing up and supporting their children and the children of Pasadena Unified. We need funding to be able to support this work. We need funding to be able to hire staff so that they're able to expand the footprint of the work they're doing to support Black children. We need funding to be able to make sure that we can reach out to more families and bring more folks into this circle, to bring more folks into this work. So I need dollars, I need more families, I need more exposure, I need more opportunity, I need rest for these people. I need dollars to be able to provide training, because right now they are subject matter experts, and we want to continue to make sure that that knowledge transfer continues. So I need money for this knowledge transfer to be able to go on so that AAPC continues to live not only in the next 15 years, but for the next 50, 100 years in Pasadena Unified.
Absolutely. That's big snaps, yeah.
What
I got
else
one.
I want?
What else you want to tell you?
Ask for it all.
Ask for it all.
Collaborations. There's a lot of different things that we're looking to do, like the Black College Expo, Math Power Hour. It'd be amazing to have a collaboration with university folks, some private organizations who can come in with expertise. And it's not just about just monetary, like just showing up for our kids, showing up for our schools. There's a lot of work that's needed in the district, and I think public-private partnerships is going to be very, very important to making sure that we can sustain and we can continue, and we can take this to the next level. I don't know if we talked about that next level looks like. We've had a lot of different conversations on where this AAPC, because right now we're just like a parent organization, but what that can look like is the possibilities are endless, but those collaborations are going to allow us to extend our footprint and be able to do more for our kids and more impact. And just to see folks who look like us on this panel show up for our kids and their expertise. I'm so impressed by your team, because everyone on your team is coming in with their own level of expertise. When I was talking to all those folks who were coming in, I was like, yo, he does this, she does that. And I was just amazed and excited for what that's going to mean for a little Black girl who didn't think that she could, create a virtual space that turned into a living space, a real space, or a little boy who doesn't think that he's very good at technology or math, but knowing that he has the capacity to just think big and he can do this. So that's what I would say.
Okay, we need volunteers.
There it is.
We need volunteers. We need volunteers willing to come in and work with us, whether it's in Math Power Hour, whether it's with our Black History Living Museum, whether it's with volunteering with our Immersive Storytelling Academy. We need volunteers, number one. Number two, we need students that look like us to bombard and enroll in the Pan-African Immersive Storytelling Academy. We need students and families that look like us. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like us. Like us, to show up.
Fifth graders.
To show up. These fifth graders that are going to be sixth graders. My niece is on the list, so she will be one of the students, but we need more students that look like us. Folks show up, y'all. They get access, and they get access to the things that are supposed to be set for our table. The table's been set for us, so we need to show up for the Pan-African Immersive Storytelling Academy. And then the last thing I would say is we need folks to continue to help us push policy. We were able to push some policy within PUSD. There's still work to be done, and not just on a district level, but on a state level. So we need some folks to help us push some policy. Oh, I see you. I see. Come on over. Come on. Let's go.
Okay. So my state policy dream is to see the local control funding formula, which drives the LCAP, be expanded so that the English learner category is expansive and inclusive to include standard English learners. Because if language acquisition is the goal, then any student who does not have the mastery of academic English should be eligible for those resources and support. So the legislative change needed on that level to ensure that those dollars and that support is coming to students who are native English speakers but not necessarily acquiring the language in the way that they need to. I need support there.
All right.
And I'm put it out there. I know probably AG is gonna work on this, but a documentary, because the story of AAPC must be told and seen. And so if funding, if a documentary could be done, you know, Hasmeen and I talk all the time. We've been saying it 2 years, literally every day. We love AAPC, but we say it in such a profound way because y'all are committed. You know, I just, in my own life, I remember growing up, it was my mom and her good friend Esther. And whenever you needed something done, you called Donna and Esther. And they gonna be right there, and they would spread the word to all the other parents and get it done. And it's why I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
And why other kids are able to do and live the lives that they live. And so I'm just super proud of the work. Where do you all want AAPC to go in the future? That's my last question before I open it up.
I'm gonna put it out there.
Where do you see AAPC going in the future?
I would love for us to be a nonprofit organization, and I want it to be focused on the kids and students in Pasadena, and to be able to. I love the fact that we're attached to the district. That gives us a lot of cachet, but I think having independence, being able to make our own decisions, being able to have our own funding, I think that makes us even stronger when it comes to the things that we want to push for our students, and keeping it grassroots. And, you know, to me, if we can get to that point, and Natasha being our, you know, whatever position she wants to be in,
Natasha's all things.
executive director, whatever she wants to be.
Oh man, I can see it. I so can see it.
Natasha and
Nia.
Nia. Natasha and Nia. Let me tell you something. You want to talk about
What's up,
a
Nia?
you want to talk about a duo, Natasha and Nia?
Natasha and Nia.
Boy, let me tell you something. So that's kind of where I don't know what that's going to look like, but I totally see us doing that and doing a lot of good work in the
Oh,
city.
boy.
Yeah. Oh, we getting yeah.
What do I see us in the future? I see us having a AAPC at every school site in Pasadena Unified School District, starting number one. I see us still having a strong presence, in PUSD, and continuing to be strong advocates and collaborators at the table with Pasadena Unified School District and our school board and our superintendent. I value that relationship, and I think it's important. And I think work gets done when we can work together. So us still being at the table in the next 15, 20 years. Black children are our business.
Yeah.
I want to be able to walk around and see this and just be, oh my gosh, yes, Black children are our business. So yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah.
Toutule laid out my vision.
Okay.
That's what I was asking for the funding for.
Okay.
That was already
All right.
ahead of you.
All right.
And I lied because I said that was the last question, but I got one more. Y'all know how I do. In light of the devastation, because Altadena,
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it. Black Altadena suffered tremendous loss.
Yes.
You all know our organization, whatever we did, we loved on you all, we poured out on you all. We still continue to do so because we know this is going to be a long journey.
Yes.
And, you know, we know AAPC was directly impacted, some of your members, all the things, right? And so I do want people to walk away from this conversation, know you guys are doing some incredible work, but also life was lifing for you all at the same time. In the midst of us getting the Pan-African Immersive Storytelling Academy, and then we had all this robust movement, which we still do, but then now we got Black Altadena and the fires, and generational loss, generational devastation. Talk to me just a little bit about what AAPC is doing on that behalf. How are you all holding up as an organization in light of this? And for my people that are watching, what can they do to support Black Altadenians? And I know that's a loaded question.
It really is.
Well, I want to say first, when everything went down, we have our group, and we're all texting each other. Are you doing okay? You doing okay? What's happening? And thank goodness, we all had our different levels of devastation in terms of this. But it was a load off of my chest to know that everybody was, even though the stuff was gone, people were still. One person with, are you staying? Are you okay? Did you find? Is it? And everybody was okay. That for me, that was what was the silver lining for me, because even now driving through Altadena, I can see like the change. Like we drove through Altadena. A lot of people. My wife didn't even go to Altadena. She didn't go for the longest after the fire, because she just couldn't. She couldn't, bear it. But now when you go, you can see the debris removal. I'm starting to visual, even the mountains. The mountains were bare and brown for the longest, and now I'm seeing green. I'm seeing a little bit of green here. I'm seeing a little patch of green there. I'm like, wow, it's turning green again, and we're seeing flowers. And I remember people were talking about the birds. Birds are coming back. For the first time, I see birds, and so we're gonna come back. I know we're gonna come back, and I can't wait to see what Altadena is gonna look like after this, and how we brought ourselves from where we're at now to where we're gonna be. So I'm very hopeful. My church burned down. Natasha, you had some losses yourself, and other folks did too, and we're all going through it together. And that's what brings me some joy, that we have this community and we're all going through it together. And we slowed down a little bit at AAPC. We didn't have a lot of meetings. We paused a lot of things we were doing, but we're still trying to be active in our way with,
And y'all have a community that loves you, that supports you, and undergirds you all, right? Because I know when we found out about when it was all happening, I know my whole team and I, we were like, what can we do? How do we help? What can we do? Because these are our family. It's beyond the work, professional, all that stuff, whatever. We locked in. Us up here, we locked in for life. That's how deep this runs. And so we wanted to make sure that whatever you guys needed, we made sure that we could help out.
I think needs are going to look different depending on the family, the person, the community, the entity. I would say meet us where we're at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meet us where we're at. Lip service is one thing.
Yeah.
Meet us where we're at. Show up. What does that look like? It could be showing up at a school, and kids need what? I don't know. It could be showing up at a church. It could be, as Toutule said, we called each other to check to see how we were doing. Okay, you can't handle this right now? I got you.
Yep.
So meet us where we're at. We need funding, we need this, we need that. But I would say that we don't need your charity. We need dignity.
Yeah.
We are homeowners. We are renters. We work, right? So we don't necessarily need the charity of or the hand-me-downs of, no disrespect, but meet us where we're at. And understand that many of our families and our students have the fires that are now compacted, but they're COVID as well. So we have our students that dealt with COVID and everything with COVID and isolation and trying to figure out how to graduate and things being canceled. And then now the fires and now having to come in from where, Orange County, way out in Riverside, all these places to try to finish school or try to get services that they need. So I would say simply meet us where we're at, figure out what our needs are, not how you want to serve us, but what we do truly need versus what you think we want or need.
Say it. Say it.
So yeah.
I want there to be a commitment to preserving community, a commitment to seeing families rebuild Altadena. I am beyond outraged at the predatory developers that are buying property, that are preying on people in their most vulnerable time. And I understand that there are folks for a myriad of reasons who may not have the temerity to live out a rebuild. I understand that. But if that is your reality, pick up your phone and call somebody. We know somebody who will buy your land that will honor your home, honor the community that we built, will honor the preservation of that community into the future, and will continue to maintain and perpetuate that spirit of community that has been here for the last 100+ years and will be here for the next 100+ years. We want folks who have that mindset in our community. So if you just need to call somebody, just say, hey, I think I might need to sell, because you don't know who knows somebody who can meet your needs, meet you where you are, versus having somebody who doesn't have that same commitment to your community and does not see the same vision for your community as you did, and is not committed to the same vision or the same goal of creating community in the same way that our families did for so long. So I want people who really value community to be a part of the rebuild. I also want to make sure that our students are included in the visioning for what the future of Altadena looks like. I also want our students who are currently finishing high school, in high school now, getting ready to graduate, and are going to graduate in the next 5 to 7, 10 years, to not feel as though they have limitations on their next step after high school because of this fire. So if that means, Mr. Governor, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. and Mrs. State Legislators, that you guarantee housing to every single student coming out of Pasadena that's going to a CSU or a UC campus. Housing is not the barrier for our students being able to go to college. Housing is not the barrier for somebody being able to go to their next step in terms of their post-graduation journey. So continue to invest in us, continue to make sure that for the next 7 to 10 years that we have legislative policy on our side for rebuilding, the necessary zoning laws on our side for rebuilding, infrastructure on our side for rebuilding, underground utilities, additional climate hardening resources and support and policy that makes sure that we can mitigate as best we can, not seeing this kind of devastation to our community in the future. I want it all. And I want our community to be stronger, better, and more resilient today as we go into the future.
Listen.
Mic drop.
Mic drop up here. And just because I love to bring the moment into some joy. I'll never forget when I called you, Natasha, and I said, "What do you need?" And you said, "Kima, I don't know what I need until I need it." And then she followed up, "You know what I need, Kima?" I said, "What, Natasha? Whatever you need, I got it." She said, "I need some of your mama's cookies." So I was like, "I got you." I was like, "I got you," and I made sure that I delivered her some of my mom's cookies,
Along with a gift card, a Visa. Don't drop that.
But
You met a need. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
But the reality of it here is, this is family.
Yeah.
And this is how we move. And this is how AAPC has been moving since their existence. I want to open it up to any questions we got in the building. Y'all have any questions y'all want to ask this illustrious, amazing panel?
Studio audience.
Before we go into audience questions, giving everyone a chance to think, just want to let you know that what Lee Wanders would like to say, I love that math mindset shift when you were talking about the math power hour.
Okay.
They love that students are now learning to love math with this.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
then
Lee.
Alexis Gerard sends a bunch of applauding emojis, just really enjoying the conversation.
Nice.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go for it.
I like the conversation and thinking about how we can help improve the lives of many students and communities in Pasadena. And I love the advocacy work that AAPC does, not only for their students, not only for their parents, but for the community as a whole, because this is a generational change. This is a legacy in the making, right? And I'm so proud to learn and hear from your stories. But I'm an LUSD student too. I was there, K through 12. But I want to see how we can take that mindset. How can we shift people's minds in different communities too? Not just Pasadena, I'm talking California, yes. I'm talking the whole nation. Like, how can we bring this conversation to the table?
Ooh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'll let my school board member I'll let my school board member take that one.
Come on, Patrice.
Well, I mean, I think it happens incrementally. I think it starts local and then it grows. I think that you being able to share with someone what you learned about AAPC's journey, you bring that to your community. And then we support you in bringing it to your community. And it goes a ripple effect from there. So I think there's an opportunity for all of us to be able to take that same mindset of investing in our students, believing in our students, and believing in the power of community and harnessing the power of community. And everyone has the capacity to do that. You don't have to be a leader. Everyone leads from where they are in their own place, and all of us working together move that momentum forward. So let us know how we can support you, and you are going to be the person that starts that conversation in your community.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I think there's a lot happening on a national level, and the president and this person and that person, and we're all upset and we feel powerless. But everyone keeps saying the power is locally. Like, this is it. Maybe if you can't, like a city as big as LA, maybe getting to the mayor is too big for you. Maybe even your local district may be too big for you, but you can start at your school, right? So where is the smallest place you can start? Because this is advocacy work. This
Start
is,
in the classroom.
yeah, you can start in the classroom, showing up to your niece, cousin, whomever, showing up in the classroom and being there to read to them during, story time, right? Being able to advocate, hey, that kid is sleeping all the time. Who's his parent, right? Whatever. But the locality and being super hyper local is where it starts and where the advocacy is. Like, to me, this is, I learned a lot about all these different freedom fighters and Underground Railroad, and to me, this is my action. This is how I'm pushing forward initiatives, how I'm impacting my community. I may not be able to, directly impact what the president is doing, but I can impact what my local school board is doing and what things get passed and how our Black students get impacted. I can help in that. So I think that's the mindset that we need to have.
Yeah.
And local action is more important.
Absolutely. Yeah. People are so often tell people their eyes are so set on what's happening at the White House and at the national races. It's like, what's going on in your local community?
Yes.
Do you even know who your council person is?
Yes.
Right? It starts there.
Yes.
So we can just begin to do that small advocacy in our own communities. That's how I got started, right? That's how my company got started. I started doing the work in my community, a few blocks from where I lived in South Los Angeles, right? And then the work moved, it moved, it moved. And so I always tell people, start locally, y'all give it up for my amazing, my amazing crew. Again, tap into Pasadena Unified School District, the African American Parent Council. Also, so thank you so much for Toutule and Natasha for joining us tonight. Also, Patrice Marshall McKenzie, Pasadena Unified School District Board Member. I'm just so happy to know these folks. They don't know, but individually, they have pushed me in ways that I didn't even know was possible for my own growth. And so I admire them, I respect them, I love them, Thank y'all for joining us tonight in this important conversation with the African American Parent Council. I couldn't think of no other people that I'd want to end our first season of Curriculum and Conversation with. So join us, y'all. We're gonna summer. We're off. Y'all gonna find something else to do on your Friday nights. We are off, but we will be back in October. We'll be back in October 2025. So we pray that you all have, I know it's prom season, it's graduation season, so y'all have an amazing time. Parents, get you some rest, some relaxation in the summer. Join us back here in October where we've got more guests, more excitement, more critical and necessary conversations. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. We'll see you.